because no other business gives you what I've seen this business give people whilst being involved in it for 4 years. It's absolutely phenomenal. But if you go home tonight, if all you do is sit up and decide why you would want to build this business, if all you do is sit up, I don't care if you've got to sit up till the sun comes up. I believe everybody should know where they want to go. I believe the biggest fault that anyone can make in life is to drift through life with no goals or no directions, saying, well, I'll be controlled by my circumstances. And for a long time, that's just what Louise and myself did. We're controlled by our circumstances in life rather than controlling our circumstances. But you see, you will not control your circumstances if you have no goals, if you have no dreams, because you've got no reason to. And I'm going to throw a few things out today, which maybe some of you are going to relate to. Things that were important to Louise and myself. Things that got us excited and motivated enough that we wouldn't let go of this business, even when the going got tough. And these are going to be things you're going to have to develop if you're going to build a business. It's things that you're going to, big enough and more important enough to you that when the going gets tough, you won't let go of this opportunity. Because I can assure each and every one of you, at some stage in building this business, the going is going to get tough. But there again, would you appreciate any rewards or any success you had if it came easy? Of course you wouldn't. It would be an insult to talk to people who've achieved something in life, talk to someone like Linford Christie and suggest to him that it came easily to him. It'd be an absolute insult to him, and it'd be meaningless to him if it did come for nothing. And the point I want to make now is that you need something that makes you have the motivation to go out there when the going gets tough. And I'm going to throw some things out, as I said. Is it important to everyone to be more secure in life? Would anyone like more security than you've got now? One of the things which was very important to Louise and myself was to get in a position where we were more secure. We were in a situation really where if we didn't have an income for just a few weeks, we were in trouble. Does anyone relate to that? Anyone relate to that situation where if you went without an income for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, suddenly you'd be in real trouble? And I'll tell you what that brings upon you is stress. One of the greatest feelings about hitting the emerald level in this business and developing that income on an ongoing basis is less stress. I can't tell you what it's like not to have to worry about, whether we're going to get a job coming in here, whether we're going to get a job coming in here. The stress this business, gets rid of is worth building it for that reason alone. If you're in a position when you're under stress, it's worth building this business to get rid of your stress alone. Because how that changes your life is absolutely phenomenal. And what leads to that is financial independence. Developing financial independence so as you're not beholden on any one individual, any few individuals to pay you a paycheck at the end of the week. How many people find the alarm clock ever so slightly annoying in the room? If you don't, I recommend you get yourself a rooster alarm. That'll really annoy you. But imagine this, you don't wake up to an alarm clock. I remember going to a function once when I heard John Gillespie say he put a sign on his alarm clock and he worked out when he'd retire if he worked the normal 40-year plan. And he worked out when he'd retire if this business took him the full 5 years to build to replace both his and Caroline's income. I remember after hearing that, I thought, that's a good idea. And the first thing I used to look at every morning when I woke up was on our alarm clock was retire, October 1994 or October 2029. That was the first thing I looked at. As I turned the alarm clock every morning, there was this sign on it that read that. I couldn't miss it. I had to read it. And I recommend this is things you do. If you want to keep yourself motivated, these are the sort of things you do. And because we had that sign on the alarm clock, we were able to beat that goal considerably. If that goal wasn't there, I'm sure we'd still be working today. It's things like that that keep you going. Doing something with your wife and partners. I appreciate we've got a lot of singles in the room, and that's great. But one of the biggest rewards Louise and myself have deemed from this business is the relationship it's given us. Doing something with your partner, with the common goals, is absolutely phenomenal. Growing together in a system that helps you develop as people. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the system later on. But that's one of the greatest rewards. If you like, it's not a money reward, isn't it? But the rewards, you'll realize after you've been involved in this business longer, that a lot of the greatest rewards you get aren't financial rewards. They're personal growth rewards. And that's one of the things which is absolutely priceless about this business. Travel is something which always appealed to us. Anyone in the room like to travel? We've got a few of you. This year we'll have 3 foreign holidays and a few around locally as well. Before, we'd be lucky if we could get 1 foreign holiday a year. And then it would be done to a very small budget. Where can we go on £1,000? That's including the spending money. We had this budget we had to do. I'm sure people who are working in employment, you've had the situation where you're fighting for the time off, I wanted those 2 weeks, someone else has nipped in before me, That's a terrible situation to be in, isn't it? You can't have the same time off as someone else you work with, and obviously some people are sort of going for the same time. In this business, you build it and you won't ever have situations like that to deal with again. The leadership seminar, which has been spoken about ashore today, that is something which is just priceless. Being away with some of the leaders in this business and being able to spend time with some of the friends and people you've built the business with. The travel you do in this business is such fun because of the people you're going to be going with. How many people live in your dream home today? How many people live in your dream home? Is there anybody? Normally there's one or two when I ask that question, and I certainly can't see many. And Louise and myself getting involved in this business, we certainly didn't live in our dream home. And don't get me wrong, we don't live in our dream home today. We've been able to change our situation considerably, since starting this business 4 years ago. We started this business, I remember when we first got our first flat together, I said to Louise, we're going to live here for 12 months, 18 months maximum, because it had no windows. It was a situation where all we had was skylights. It was great if you liked astronomy, But I remember then 18 months down the road, something started happening called negative equity. Have anyone experienced that up in this neck of the woods? We ended up living in a house where we had a mortgage which was far greater than what the flat was worth. And it looked like we were going to be years away from moving. And through this business, we've been able to change that situation. I'm sure a lot of people feel themselves in that situation where they're not living their dream home, but maybe you are sat with negative equity or a similar situation to what we were. This is a business, but you can solve that sort of problem by developing the income. When I got involved in this business, things like cars didn't really motivate me until recently, when I took a Lotus Esprit Turbo SE out. And we've got a dual carriageway very near where we live. It's a very steep dual carriageway. And I remember getting to the bottom of it, and the guy who sat alongside me said, right, put your foot down. I was in second gear. I tell you what, I was pinned to the seat, my cheeks were going back, I tell you, before driving that car, it wouldn't have meant a lot to me, but I tell you, after driving one of those things, I need one of those cars, desperately. One thing which just was nice for us was the thought of, being able to drive a nice, comfortable, reliable car, bringing it more down to earth maybe. Has anyone been in a situation where you've been on a long journey and you get out the other side feeling absolutely wiped out? Because the car is, sort of like you're bumping along there, no air conditioning in the summer, I recently went on a very long journey with our upline, Jerry and Mandy Kent, in their Jaguar Sovereign. They had the air conditioning on, and I got out the other end feeling fresher than when I left, But that's the difference between driving something that's quality and driving something which isn't quality. And that's something else you can do on developing the income in this business and developing the lifestyle. That's phenomenal. Coming where we come from, boats are absolutely, we see boats in front of us all the time down in Torbay. And one of the things which has always been important to us, and I don't know if does anyone like boats up here? Yeah, but boats is one of those things you almost feel guilty about having it unless you can afford it because it's a luxury, isn't it? It's one of those things, well, I really shouldn't be spending money on that. And there's like a lot of things in life, things that are luxuries that you feel slightly guilty about spending money on. But to us, to be able to have a boat, and we haven't got a boat yet, but it's something we intend to be doing in the very near future to get ourselves our own boat. But that's about something which is, being able to get things which are the luxuries in life, but not feeling guilty about it. That is something which is a phenomenal reward in this business. Helping others achieve is one of the great rewards, the best rewards of this business. Is you might think to yourself, well, it's exciting, for the directors to come across stage. But I'll tell you what will be more exciting for those people, and each one of those people would admit to you today, what will be more exciting for them is to see people they're working with and they've helped be coming across stage and recognised as directs and hitting the higher levels of achievement in the business. That's phenomenal reward in this business, knowing people, you've helped someone in some small way change their life for the positive. There's other people as well outside of the business. I'm sure there's people in the room who believe in charities or causes. We've got someone we worked with in the business who's got a very strong, passionate belief in the NSPCC. And through this business is a lady, and she's been able to free up her time now because they've been able to replace her income. And not has she only been able to donate more money to that cause, but it's been able to donate more time to that cause. And this is the thing that sometimes I think people overlook. The causes out there, they don't just need people to donate money to them, they need people with more spare time to invest in helping them operate. And that's something this business can offer you. If you're looking to help people, it can give you the time and the money to do that. Many friends, confidence and recognition. They're things, phenomenal rewards you can develop from this business. The confidence this business has given me is priceless. 4 years ago, it wouldn't have been an option for me to come here and stand and talk to you today. And I appreciate, we're no great motivational speakers or anything like that. But the confidence this business has given us, you wouldn't have seen me within 20 miles of this place, 4 years ago. And the fact that the system we operate today can build you up in your own self-belief and your own self-image and your self-confidence so as you're able to do anything in life. And that's one of the greatest rewards I believe you can ever get. Self-respect is another thing this business will give you. I'll tell you what, I've never liked myself more than when I knew I was prepared to pay a price to achieve our goals in life. Because I believe if anyone was going to be perfectly honest at some time in their life, even if you've forgotten them now, even if you've had them kicked out of you, like a lot of people get their goals kicked out of you. A lot of people have that happen to them by negative people who discourage them. And that had happened to me to a certain respect in my life. But I'll tell you what, the self-respect I gained from knowing I was prepared to pay a price in a vehicle that could offer me to achieve our goals and dreams, and I knew I was out there doing what it took, that gave me more self-respect than I've ever had in my life before. Because I believe you'll deserve anything you want to achieve in life as long as you're prepared to work for it. If you're not prepared to work for it, I don't believe you deserve it. But if you're prepared to work for it, I believe you deserve any goal or any dream you set yourself. You're prepared to go out there and put the effort in to get that. This business, you'll become part of a great project. If you decide to build this business, you're going to be part of a fantastic project. This business is big already. This business is enormous already. But where this business is going in the future is going to blow a lot of people's minds. And today, there's many books you can buy on the development and the phenomenon of this business around the world. There's going to be many more written in the future. And is there going to be a chapter on yourself? How you started your business from your town, your village, or the city you live in, and spread your organization throughout the world. Anyone who takes his business seriously, that is exactly what will happen to you. Your organization will spread and spread and spread and spread until it spreads throughout the length and breadth of the world. Not just the country, but length and breadth of the world. I believe one of the great things about this business is it gives you the courage to actually step out and start working towards your goals and dreams in life. And I've spoken to many people, like many older people in my own family, who I've had conversations where they say, I wish I'd done that now. I wish I'd tried that now. If only this, And I think that's a very sad situation to get to if you ever get to the stage where you're if only in. Well, if only. And I believe one of the worst things that anyone will do in life is to look back with regrets that maybe you didn't try harder or you didn't take up and seize on more opportunities. Because sometimes it's the easiest thing in the world to let opportunity pass you by, because obviously there's difficulty connected with opportunity. But I believe one of the biggest things that will happen, biggest causes of the regret in someone's life will be looking back and thinking to themselves, well, I really didn't achieve my full potential. I really didn't try as hard as I could have. And this is a business where you can grab hold and achieve your full potential because you're not on your own. You're a part of a team who's going to help you every step of the way. If all that sounds a little bit highbrow, there is nobody in this room who grabbed hold of this business now. You're a brand new person grabbing hold of this business now who couldn't be in a year's time earning an extra £1,000 a month out of it. Now, to most people, an extra £1,000 a month makes the difference between maybe struggling by or living very comfortably. Maybe it's enough to replace one of the incomes coming into the household, to free up someone from a job. An extra £1,000 a month makes an enormous difference between the stress there is in a household as well. Louise and myself, when we got our business up to a stage when we were making just an extra few £100s a month, it relieved the stress factor in our household tremendously. That's where I'm going to finish, but I want you to go away tonight and I want you to think seriously about things that are important to you. Because I can honestly say, without any shadow of a doubt, you will not build this business unless you've got something which is very important to you. It's got to be something that burns inside of you, something that you will never let go, something nobody can steal away from you. And you've got to develop that if you're going to go away and build a big business. What I'd like to do now is help you welcome my beautiful wife Louise back onto the stage, and she's going to share with you for about half an hour or so.
Hello again. Right. Well, thank you for that warm welcome. It's very warm under these lights. You have made us feel really, really special today, and it is a very, very humbling experience to be asked to speak on the Gregory Scriven stage, and it's something that we never, ever take lightly. Now, our goal today is to share some information with you that we really hope will just help you realize what you have your hands on, and just what an incredible business this is, especially when you can, compare it to the alternative, which is the 40-year plan. Now, when I compare how we lived when we got into the business to how we live today, Nigel has touched on it, really there is no comparison. When we first got in this business, I really didn't ever see that, we wouldn't be working before we were 30. But does that make sense? We'd stop working, be free. And it's just incredible. When we got married, we were broke and in debt already. We lived in a one-bedroom flat, and we just seemed to work every hour that God sent us. Nigel had his building business and was heavily involved in sport, and we saw very little of each other. I used to leave the house at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and I used to get back about 6 o'clock in the evening, by which time Nigel was usually out pricing a job or out at some rugby practice. So, as I said, we hardly ever saw much of each other. And I suppose we'd fallen into the rut of just work, 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 and leading our separate lives. We used to leave messages on the kitchen table for each other. And so I suppose when we got in this business, the first challenge we had was actually working together, because we'd never had to work together before. And in this business, it's something that you have to learn to do. And the quicker you learn to get it together, the quicker your business will start to grow. And it sounds really exciting at first. You're both going for common goals. Say your goal might be to go, to reach 9% this month or 12% this month. And, that's great. But, you may have realized by now that, you might come across some challenges. Now, if you're single, please don't switch off, because if you haven't already, you're going to have a lot of couples in your group. And, they might go through some challenges. But successful singles never stay single for long in this business. Be warned. When Nigel and I first got in, we had so many high-volume discussions about everything, really. Even what tape we were going to listen to. Should you be doing this follow-up then, and shouldn't you be doing that? And Nigel used to say things, well, they said no because you contacted them wrong. And, we got on really well at first. And I used to listen to the lady speakers on stage, and they'd be talking about their relationship and how wonderful it was, and how, ladies, you got to be your husband's cheerleader, and how you got to be his biggest fan. And I used to listen to this and think, oh, yuck. You don't know what it's like living with Nigel Pugson, and we'd be sitting out there, and he'd gleamingly be nudging me in the ribs. And I found it very difficult to support Nigel when, to be honest, he was just getting on my nerves all the time. And this went on for a while, and eventually, it didn't happen overnight. Just eventually, with the constant love and support of our upline, and by plugging into the system that, if you're new today, I'm sure you've heard a lot about, we started to get things sorted out. And there were 3 books that, if perhaps you're going through challenges like this, there were 3 books that really, really helped me. And the first one was Total Woman, which, I'll be honest with you, the first time I read it, I felt like thrown across the lounge. Having read it again, it has helped me a lot. Also, another good book is The Secret of Living is Giving by Berta Yeager, which is a great book, and For Better for Best. Now, those 3 books really, really helped me. And although Nigel and I had heard it hundreds of times, we started to realize that, hey, this is teamwork. And the main thing is just to get the job done. And, once we started to work as a team, our business really started to grow. Now, just because we're Emerald doesn't mean to say we now have a perfect relationship and we never have high-volume discussions. They are quite rare, but if we do have them, I don't sulk for 2 days, and it's good fun making up now. And I'm proud to say that I am Nigel's cheerleader. I love and respect him for who he is, and he is an incredible leader in this business. We both praise each other for our strengths and help each other improve on our weaknesses. And basically, you know, we are working as a team. Now, I don't know what our relationship would be like if it wasn't for this business, you know, but I certainly know it wouldn't be half as good as it is now. And, you know, sometimes you may think, is it worth the struggle? You know, was it worth the initial struggle we had of all the books and flying objects that went across the room at times? And, you know, you bet it was.